Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2011 Subaru WRX STI. Up front is what was a 2.5 liter turbocharged flat 4, and down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here STI for a couple of reasons. As I just hinted at, this car is modified. The engine's actually punched out a little bit bigger than 2.5. But also, I've only ever driven one STI, and that was a 2020 special edition. So I'm excited to go into the backlog of the STI brand, especially now because Subaru is saying that they're not going to focus on it until EVs can handle STIs. So for now, here in 2022, the STI brand is a little dormant. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, ZackPradel.com, where you can buy stickers like this retro sticker pack or big friggin' bottle sticker, both with free shipping. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form. And you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that turbo flat 4 under the hood. Like I said, originally it was a 2.5 liter, but this car has had a lot of work done to it and it's punched out to a 2.6 or 2.7, depending on who you ask. It also has a bigger turbo and other goodies. Originally, the 2011 STI actually makes 305 horsepower. However, on E85, this car is making low 400s. Of course, you get that signature Subaru growl. This does have an NVIDIA exhaust. And just overall, it's just a fantastic driving experience. Such a fun car. Like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed manual transmission that comes in the car as standard. However, this does have a short throw shifter and an ACT clutch, which is a little bit stiffer than normal. However, it's not unmanageable. I really like Subaru shifters, especially from this era, and this is no different. Last but not least, of course, the Subaru WRX STI from 2011 is all-wheel drive. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 3 simple gauges. On the left is my fuel and coolant temperature. In the center, I get my tachometer that says STI on it. I really like that. And off to the right, I have my speedometer. They glow red, which is just a nice touch for the STI. Although regular WRXs do have that as well, I love that about this car. Now, I do have some added gauges. These are aftermarket, but if you're curious about what they are, I have boost off to the left, oil pressure to the left of the steering column, and air-fuel ratio to the right of the steering column. Again, these are not factory components for the STI. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my mode, volume, and skip track, as well as phone options to the bottom left. And up to the right, I have my cruise control settings. Very nice and very livable options here in the STI. You can actually daily drive this car with cruise control and volume on the steering wheel and things like that. Off to the left, I have my gauge dimmer switch and my headlight levelers. Interestingly enough, you don't normally see this in sedans. Mazda put it in their Mazda 6, but other than that, it's kind of rare to get headlight levelers in a sedan. Then I do have power mirrors down below that. Moving into the center, I do get a little clock and MPG gauge and just some information up top. I like that. It's a little dated at this point, but I do like it. Then we have the stereo. Now, it does have Bluetooth, which is very nice for 2011, but it is a very basic radio. Not a whole lot going on here, which is okay. I'll talk more about that a little bit later on. Down below that, we have 2 climate control vents and our climate controls themselves. Off to the left is the fan speed, in the center is where to send it, and off to the right is the temperature that goes up to 85. Then I do get a little cubby and I get the shifter. I love that right in front of the shifter it says STI. Really cool, and I love the pink. I love that STI's logo is pink. It definitely stands out from the crowd. No matter what performance division of any company you're looking at, you know that pink color is an STI color. Love that. Then we get the shifter itself. Like I said, the shifter feels great. This does have an aftermarket short throw in it, so keep that in mind. But I've driven other Subarus and another STI, and it felt the same way. It had that great feeling to it, and when you put it into a gate, it really clicks, which is fantastic. Down below that, we have our drive mode select. So there's intelligent, sport, and sport sharp. Now, because this car is tuned these different drive modes are actually tuned as well, but on the regular STI, intelligent is just for daily driving. This is gonna really kill your throttle input. It's not gonna give you all the beans. Then you go up to sport, and of course that gets sportier, but sport sharp, especially on this car, gives you all of the boost, all of the throttle input, and really makes it an entertaining drive, as you saw earlier. I love that customization of it, and because this is the STI, down below that, we actually get the center diff controls, which is fantastic, so I can actually switch the balance between the wheels. Then we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the 2011 Subaru WRX STI, and I am happy to report that it passes. That is fantastic, and this is how the big friggin' bottle stacks up to other Subarus. Then I do get a little center console, and then we'll talk about the seats. The seats are nice and comfortable. They do say STI on them. I love that little added flair, because it reminds me that I'm driving the top trim. I'm driving the most special WRX, which, let's talk about the rest of this interior for a second. This interior does feel kind of cheap. It doesn't feel insanely sporty or special. Besides the STI font in the gauge cluster and the STI on the seats, this is kind of a regular WRX budget interior. And the reason for that is because Subaru wanted to save you as much money. This was supposed to be affordable fun. And so if you want the fun, you need the engine, you need the transmission, you need those diffs. But you don't need an expensive interior to have fun. So that's where Subaru drew the line in the sand. But speaking of interior and seats, let's go hopping back and do a backseat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2011 Subaru WRX STI, and a couple of things to note. First of all, I forgot to mention up front, the air conditioning compressor went out a couple days ago, and it is the middle of June, and it is hot, 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 but that's okay. I just want to explain my disheveled look. Seating position is actually not bad. I've always criticized mid-2000s Subarus because they look like they should have more backseat room, and they don't. Mid-2000s Subarus have awful back seats, but honestly, this is kind of breaking that curse. This is my driving position, which is actually moved further back than Seng's driving position, and I have plenty of knee room. I have good headroom. The back seats are actually very functional in this generation of STI, which is something I did not expect. I do get a center console back here with no cup holders. It's just a squishy brick, kind of like myself. Oh, okay, I do have two cup holders down here that fold out. Other than that, very basic back seats like we talked about with the front interior, carries on to the back interior. I'm honestly genuinely surprised that I do have power windows back here, something the Dodge Neon failed to do. Let's go hop around back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so around the back of the Subaru WRX STI, and we do have actually on the fob a little trunk popper. Now, it doesn't pop it all the way up, but it will just release it, and then you can pull it up. Once we are back here, obviously that is not a stock sub. However, not tons of space, and for some reason it sort of goes up. I assume that's to account for the all-wheel drive system or maybe gas tank. I'm not 100% sure. Those are my two educated guesses. But it does kind of take away from the interior of the trunk a little bit. You're not gonna have many issues fitting things back here, but just not as big as I expected, but that's okay. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I truly love this generation of STI. There's only one thing I would change about this car, and that would be that I love the hatch. If anyone has a hatchback STI from 2011 or 2012, so I could live out my Dirt 2 fantasies, please email me with the information up on the screen or submit it to my website. However, let's talk about this car in front of us, the sedan. I actually really do like it. I think it looks good. I just think it's so what I grew up with. You know, in 2011, I was in 8th grade. And so that's when I started learning what cars really were. I started learning all the names and engines and countries of origin. And the Subaru WRX STI was definitely up there. Like I said, I used to love to play the old dirt rally games. So this is a slight dream come true. But now let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think finally driving an early 2010 Subaru WRX STI? Something I've driven in so many video games, but never in real life until today. Well, I really love this car. It's really fantastic. Now, unfortunately, the owner hasn't had amazing luck with engine. This is his 3rd engine, and as a reviewer, I am hoping to keep it that way by the end of the video. So reliability has been hit or miss, but that's what happens when you tend to modify a vehicle. But let's talk about unmodified 2011 Subaru WRX STIs. I love the STI brand because it's fantastic off the showroom floor and out of the box. You don't have to really do anything to an STI to really thoroughly enjoy it. It's like a Lego set. You don't buy a Lego set and then think, oh, let me add this brick and that brick to make it better. No, Lego does it right. They give you all the bricks that you need. However, if sticking with this Lego analogy, once you do build your Lego Death Star or one of the modular buildings, you get to add it to the rest of your Lego world, and then you get to customize it. You get to have fun. Maybe you want Darth Vader getting a coffee at your little coffee shop that you built, and you can do that. That's what I love about the STI brand, is that it's great out of the box, but you also have so many opportunities to modify it and make it your own, like Seng has done with this car. He's really made it his own. And so I love how modular these cars are. Subaru has a huge following, and so you're gonna be able to find a shop that will work on them. You're gonna make friends in the Subaru community. I don't even own a Subaru, and yet I have friends in the Subaru community because they're some of the best people, really. I love this car, and I am very, very happy to report that this is not a don't meet your hero situation. I met my hero, and my hero almost got me in trouble. That is something I won't forget. This car is quick, and quicker than its own good. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Seng for letting me take out his Subaru WRX STI from 2011. This car is just so good, so fun. And like I said, I was so thankful to finally drive something I had been driving in a video game with a controller for the last 10 years. And that is all thank you to Seng. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.